All right, guys, good morning and happy Monday. We are going to go through the homework, lesson 4, practice problems, starting on page 35 in your book. So, again, be sure you're getting these notes down. Number 1 says M is a point on a line segment. Okay, line. So, remember that means it's going to be 180 degrees. Select all the equations that show the relationship between the two of them. So, I'm circling the ones that are true. Well, does A equal B? Certainly doesn't look like it. Do an A and B add up to 90? No. Does B equal 90 minus A? No, because that means it would be less than 90 degrees. B is definitely obtuse. Would A and B equal 180? Does it make a straight line? Absolutely. Okay, so D should be circled. And if I would take 180, so 180 degrees minus this angle, would it give me B? So let's say A was 40. If I would take 180 minus 40, would it give me 140? Absolutely. And if I take B minus A, will I get 180? No, they would have to be added to be 180. So D and E should be circled there. Question number 2. Which equation represents the relationship between the angles in the figure? Okay, looking at this figure here. So again, I have a line here, so it's got to equal 180. That probably eliminates A and C because they equal 90. So is 88 plus B 180, or is 88 plus B 2 B's 180? So of course B plus 88 plus B would be 180, so that would be D is your answer there. Question number 3, it wants us to find angle G. Okay, so just looking at it now, it does say these intersect each other. ACD is a right angle. That's why you see a right angle sign here. That means these two have to be a right angle as well. Complementary, remember, is what that means. And those two have to add up to 90. So 53 plus what is 90? 90 minus 53. 37 degrees is what G is. Question number 4. Get it aligned here properly. Select all the expressions that are resolved from decreasing, so it's going to be less than 100, by 80%. So decreasing by 80%. So if you have something that's 80% off, you're going to pay 20% of the original price. So I'm looking for answers that would give me 20% of the original price because it's decreased by 80. Decreased by 80%. So just a rough figure here, if it's $1, you get 80% off. You're saving 80%, but you're paying 20%. You're paying 20 cents on the original. So which ones represent 20% of the original? Okay, certainly A would. 20 out of 100 is 20%. How about 1x minus 80 over 100x? So if I take 1 minus 8 tenths, or 80 hundredths, I'm going to certainly get 20% left. And which other one? There's one more. Okay, hopefully you said E. D is 80%. I was again looking for 20%. And this one doesn't have a decimal. If that had been 1 and 0.2, that would have been fine. But that is not in percent form. So A, B, and E there. Question number 5. Andre is solving an equation. And he said he gets x is 11 over 8. I think he made a mistake. How do you know he made a mistake? Well, we can try 11 over 8. So 4 times x plus 3 over 2 equals 7. I'm going to try 11 over 8 for x. Okay, I need a common denominator here to add those. So I'm leaving the 4 alone. 11 over 8 plus, the common denominator would be 8, so I got to take it times 4. 3 times 4 is 12. So 4 times, what is this going to be? 11 plus 12 is 23 over 8. Common denominator, 8. So let's see what I would get. Cross cancel, I get 23 over 2, or I get 11 and a half. And it certainly should be 7. So we know that Andre's 11 over 8 does not work. Describe his error and how to correct it. Well, first he subtracted 3 over 2. When we were going over these in class, we had a rule. The rule said if you have parentheses, your first step is to divide by the number in front of the parentheses, in this case 4. So Andre needed to divide by 4 first. Okay, divide by 4 first. So I'm going to divide by 4, both sides, and I get x plus 3 over 2. 7 divided by 4, I'll just write it as a fraction. 7 over 4. Next step would be, I have a positive 3 over 2 here, is I need to subtract 3 over 2. So there's 2 steps to this problem. Divide by 4, subtract 3 over 2. Common denominator needed. 7 over 4 minus 6 over 4. The answer should have been 1/4. Okay, problem number 6. Solve each equation. So these are all going to be the same, guys. I'm going to do the opposite and divide by what's in front of the x. Okay, there are no parentheses on these 5. So what's the opposite of adding 3/4? I needed to subtract 3/4. I am not touching the x at all. So I got 1 over 7x, and I got 9 over 8 minus 3 over 4. Common denominator again on this side would be 8. So I got 1 over 7x equals 9 over 8 minus 6 over 8. Simplify that. 9 minus 6 is 3 over 8. And what is the opposite of 1 over 7 times x? So I'm multiplying by 1/7. The opposite of that is dividing by 1/7, or multiplying by the reciprocal of 7 over 1. So your answer for that one should be 21 over 8. Okay, B. I'm going to come over here to write these down to give me a little more room. I am not going to touch the x, but I am going to do the opposite of this positive 2/3. Opposite of a positive 2/3 is to subtract 2/3. Common denominator on the right side is 6. So I got to take this times 2 to get 6. 2 times 2. 5 over 6 minus 4 over 6 is 1 over 6. Divide by whatever's in front of the x. Divide by 1/5. Or multiply by 5 over 1. And I get x equals 5 over 6. Question C. Again, I'm going to do my work over here. I am once again not going to touch the x at all. I'm going to do the opposite of adding 2/3, and that would be to subtract 2/3. So I'm going to subtract 2/3. Notice how I did not touch the x at all. Need a common denominator. Again, it's going to be 6. So times 3 times 3. To get 6 over here, it's times 2 times 2. Combine the fractions. 9 minus 4 is 5 over 6. So again, I'm only concentrating about the x now. I got 4/3 times x. So I'm going to divide by 4/3 or multiply by the reciprocal. 3 over 4. Anything you can cross cancel here. I'm going to cross cancel the 3 and the 6. And I get 5 over 8 for an answer. Up on top of the page, we have a couple decimals there. Process is exactly the same. Do not touch the x. Opposite of adding 7.9 is I'm going to subtract 7.9. So 9.1 minus 7.9 is 1.2. That is 0.3 times x. Opposite of multiplying by 0.3 is to divide by 0.3. So hopefully remember how to divide decimals. Move it over one spot, move it over one spot. How many times is 3 going to 12? And the answer is 4. Last one like this. Don't touch the x. Subtract 8.78. So 11.03 minus 8.78. Okay. Need to borrow. 13 minus 8 is 5. 9 minus 7 is 2. 2.25. Okay, again, divide by what's ever in front of the x. So I'm going to divide by 0.02. This number goes in the box. 2.25 divided by 0.02. Move the decimal 2 spots. I'm going to put that up there so I don't forget it in my answer. So I have 2 into 2, 2 into 2 again, 2 into 5, and 2 into 10. So your answer is 112.5. All right, final question number 7. A train is traveling at a constant speed for a long distance. Write the two constants of proportionality for the relationship between the distance traveled and the time. Explain what they mean. Well, if I take distance divided by time, and I can choose any of these, 54 divided by 1.2, 135 divided by 3, 180 divided by 4. I'll just pick the last one. 180 divided by 4. 4 into 18, 4 times. Got to subtract correctly, Mr. Milbrand. I'm just checking to make sure you guys are still paying attention. 8 minus 6 is 2. Bring the 0 down. 4 into 20. 4 times. Okay, now what did I find? Well, I divided my miles divided by my hours. Okay, so 45 means miles per hour. Speed. That's how fast I'm going. Notice it did say I want two constants of proportionality. So 45 or 45 over 1, if I flip it over, if I reciprocal it, I'm going to get 1 over 45. And that exchanges my labels as well. Instead of miles per hour, it's going to be hours per mile. How long it takes me to go 1 mile. Those would be my two constants of proportionality. So if you have one, you just reciprocal the other. Any questions, guys? Let me know. That was, again, the homework from 7.4. You guys take care. Stay safe. Bye-bye.